Welcome back to day 2 of renovating my bathroom while my husband's out of town, so he can't tell me no. I was able to get majority of the demo done yesterday. Obviously, I wanted to get way more done. I thought I was going to be able to put up the drywall, but by the time I was done demo, I was exhausted. I really wanted my husband here for this part, but c'est la vie. Welcome to day 2 of our bathroom refresh. So today we're going to focus on getting the drywall up and then putting a coat of mud on it. And that's the goal for the day. I'm going to teach you how to install drywall because it's not that complicated, and how to measure it correctly, my tips and tricks and everything like that. Because we are installing drywall, we need it to be a nice level. So for this reason, I'm going to be using an oscillating tool to just cut those ridges that you see. We're going to make it nice and straight so that when we install the drywall, it is one even spot for the drywall to sit. And because we had tile on this wall before and it went right to the countertop, there was grout on the countertop. There was a lot of videos out there saying to use a sponge and get it softer and then take it off. But because I have drywall right here, I don't want it to absorb any of that moisture. So I'm going to show you how I took the grout off the countertop. It is very labor intensive and does take a really long time, but I was able to do it without damaging the countertop whatsoever. So as you can see, I have taken the grout off here, but then we get here and there's a ton of grout. And so I've been working on here, and then I've also been working here, but this isn't completed yet. So I'm going to show you what works best for me to take all this hard grout off. And again, I didn't want to wet it with a sponge because this is the top of my drywall right here, and it would just absorb all that moisture and expand, and I don't want that to happen. To start, I'm going in and I'm just making some lines with my pry bar here. So you can see all the lines I've already made. I'm just going to make a couple more because it makes it easier to get this off, but you're just going to make lines. And the more little cuts you do in this, the easier it's going to be. So if you have a tough piece, just go in and tap it. We're not going down to the counter. We're just going about halfway into this grout, and then it's a lot easier to lift with our X-Acto knife. And this is the tedious part, which is going in with the X-Acto knife and just making longer strokes and pulling up the grout. So as you can see, it came up pretty easy, and we're just going to do that the whole way along here. We have all the leftover grout off. It's completely gone. But now we need to get rid of these little scruff marks that happened from taking the grout out, and it's really easy. These are just surface level, so I'm going to show you how to take them out. I use this Norwex cleaning paste, and we're just going to put a little bit on the spots, and then we are going to scuff the marks out. This is, I swear by this product. This is not sponsored in any way. It's amazing, and it gets any kind of mark off a countertop, and it's going to last you forever. I've had this for a few years now, and this is all I've used. So I'm just putting some of it there. That'll be enough for this entire countertop here. I'm going to crush this up a bit. This will be too much product actually, but that's okay. So I'm just spreading it out, and then we're going to go in with a paper towel and just lightly get these marks off. And I'm wetting the paper towel here. I don't want it dripping wet. I just want it damp. And then we're going to go in and get rid of those scuffs. I'm going to bring you a little bit closer so you can see. So we can see those scuff marks there. We're just going to buff those out, and they're completely gone. So we're just going to do that for the rest of it here. Here's a pretty big one I can show you. And it's out. Now we're just going to do the remainder. Again, this is definitely too much product, but it just kind of all came out. So, and this will get all kinds of marks out. Like I've gotten permanent marker on our counters before, stains, like highlighter stains on the counters, and this takes it out completely. Especially with me doing so many projects, I feel like this is just one of the best products out there to get all those marks out. That is the end result. There is no marks whatsoever. You can't even tell that grout was there, and it's going to make it look a lot more clean after my drywall goes in, and I can just use a gun and seal it up. It's going to look really good. It took me a really long time to get this grout off this countertop. It was very labor intensive. So I was hoping to get all the drywall in today. I'm still hoping that's the case and that we could do a coat of mud, but maybe the mud will be waiting till tomorrow. We will see. My plan for the drywall is to do the hardest piece first, which is going to be this one because of the electrical box. You can't buy a piece of drywall that would actually fit this perfectly. So I'm going to have to do 2 pieces. I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to put it on this stud here. This has some sort of metal support here, so I'm going to mark down where my studs are in this bathroom of this wall so that it's easier for me to put the drywall screws in. When we are measuring this, we are going behind this piece of drywall back here because our new piece is going to slide in here. So we are taking a measurement from this wall stud all the way to here, and I do want it to land approximately in the middle, so I'm going to do 39 inches from that stud to here, and we're going to write that down. And I'm going to take the height here. We're not going behind the drywall on the roof. We're just going from the ceiling. So we're approximately 52.75 inches. And here again, it's the exact same, so that's good. Measured out each stud to the center is what I used for measurements. And then I did the weird box that is here, the measurements of that. And then also took measurements of where this metal is because I don't want to hit it. I'm going to measure out the drywall now and start cutting, and we're going to pray to the drywall gods that I get these cuts right. So I marked out, this is the height of the room, and I did a bunch of little marks here, and then I'm going in with a straight edge. You want it to be straight so that it's a straight line, but you can use anything. It doesn't need to be a level. It can be a piece of wood even. And now we're going to score this with an X-Acto knife and then break it. And to try and make sure that I am not going off the line, I'm going to keep my level where I drew my line, just so it doesn't get all wonky. And I really hope I did this right because I don't want to get more drywall. And I'm putting pressure on this so it doesn't move while I'm scoring it. And you want to do a ton of pressure because we want this drywall to snap. I'm going to go over it more than once. I think I'm going to do it like 3 times. And honestly, I've only watched my grandpa ever do this. I have never drywalled on my own. He's always been around. So let's just hope he taught me the right skills to do this. Yeah, I really want this to break nicely. So I'm going and doing it a lot. You know what? I'm going to do it one more time to be safe. My original plan was to put this on a coffee table and then snap it, but it's already breaking quite a bit, so I'm not going to have to do that. So I'm just going to grab my alpha knife and I'm going to fold this and then cut it from the back. And hopefully you've scored it enough that it's just going to snap really easily. So mine is, and now I'm going down with this. That was a win. That worked out. I really thought something bad was going to happen, but it didn't. I shouldn't say that too soon because I still need to make more cuts. I need to do another cut for the width. And after you cut it, make sure you're not stepping on the edges of your drywall because it'll crack and like the inside dust comes out and you'll have to get a new piece. So don't do that. You can step in the middle, but don't step near the edges. And I'm just repeating this process again for the width now. Now I'm going to do a dry fit and make sure it fits before I do anything else. And I really hope I don't have to do anything else because it's already getting dark outside because I've been doing this. I guess I didn't start till like 2, but still. It fits. I'm very happy about that. Now we just need to cut the hole for the light switch. And yeah, it'll be good. My idea for getting the measurements right for the light fixture is to take some paint and put it on the electrical box and then push the drywall on it. I will double check my measurements afterwards, but I'm hoping this will make it a little easier on me. I don't know if it's going to work. If it doesn't, whatever. I just feel like it's going to save me a lot of precise measuring. It just seems easier than doing an exact measurement. I will do a rough one after to make sure it's in the right place because obviously I don't have any more drywall. I am putting quite a bit on here because I don't want to not be able to see it. And I'm going to slide the drywall into place and then push it up against it. And this could be an epic fail. I'm hoping it's not. I actually have no idea where the electrical box is, so somewhere here. Let's take it off and see if it worked. So I ended up doing an imprint of it on a piece of paper, and I'm going to cut that out and trace it there so it's the exact shape. And now I'm just scoring lines here. And I'm doing it bigger than the actual electrical box so that it fits. The moment of truth. We are going to see if this fits in here. Obviously, hoping for the best. I do not want to redo this. I'm a little surprised that worked, but I'm very happy. So now I took a measurements of where all of my studs were, so I'm going to mark them out on the drywall, and then I'm done for the night because I can't do this any longer. It's getting dark out. I'm going to put a couple screws in here just to hold it in place. Now that I have those screws in and I marked out my studs before, I'm going to mark them out on this, install them, and it'll be way easier. Okay, my phone ended up dying while I was putting in the drywall screws, but I just wanted to show you they do look wonky because we had those weird stud situations happening. There was that random box there and then that big metal piece that they wouldn't go in. But I did want to show when you were doing drywall screws, you want them to be slightly inset because you don't want to see them after you mud and tape. So if you can see, like, this goes in a bit. So mud will go in there and then we won't be able to see it at all. Anyways, tomorrow we're going to tackle the last piece and then we're on to mudding and taping. Good night, everybody.